Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is the third video on my little week-long Halloween special where I'm simply just reviewing 5 horror-themed albums, 5 scary albums. Also, I know the lighting in the last two was really bad, so we're trying something new. I asked my friend for advice. All he said was that working with red light is very difficult, so cool. Anyways, I'm trying something different. Hopefully it looks better. It kind of looks better, at least I'm not getting blasted by color like in the other ones, but whatever, I'll see in post. But yeah, today we're going to be reviewing clippings. There existed an addiction to blood. Last time we did Cannibal Corpse and we did ICV before that, so if you're interested in those, go check those out. But this one is a bit different because with those two artists, I actually had was not familiar with their work. This one, I am. I've messed with a lot of clippings projects. I really like the self-titled. I also really like Visions of Bodies Being Burned, which actually is the sequel to this album here. Why did I never listen to it before? I'm lazy, I guess. I couldn't tell you. Going into this thing, I had high expectations. I already was a fan. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed. This is another great album that I've heard from Clipping. I think out of every album we're going to be doing this week, this is definitely the most horror themed thing possible because this album takes a lot of inspiration from just horror movies themselves. Looking at the lead single for this thing, Nothing Is Safe, they literally have some Halloween movie ass piano lines going through it. And that's not me just saying that. They were actually inspired by John Carpenter's Halloween. And this is another one of those situations where it's this idea of taking horror movie elements and putting it into this type of album, I would say that shit is cringe if you just told me that, but when you have a group as experienced as this, they make it work incredibly. For this one though, I'm just going to go through the tracks that I like first before talking about the album as a whole, because this is the first album of this week that I can safely say that I really like. We have He Dead, which is one of the most unsettling horrorcore tracks I've ever heard. The atmosphere is completely haunting on this one. Ed Balloon's vocals are also just amazing. They completely add to the vibe. La Mala Ordina was one of the tracks I've heard from this one before. I think it was the only one that I heard before listening to the full thing. Features El Camino and Benny the Butcher, throwing in some verses too. And my god, this beat is fucking nasty. The synths are so goddamn good. I love the progression of the track. El Camino and Benny kill it. We have Club Down, which is kind of like a spin on Club Bangers, except in this one, it's just resorting to violence and killing. And then we also have Run For Your Life, which probably has one of the most interesting beats I have ever heard, just period. The beat on the verses is basically just outdoor noises, just sounds of the city, basically, of cars passing and stuff, just the wind and shit. But then we also have things like sirens coming in to make the beat as the siren passes by. Just listen to the song. It's actually fucking genius, honestly. Blood of the Fang is another single for this thing, and once again, just incredible atmosphere. The sample is haunting. I haven't mentioned this the whole time, but Daveed Diggs, the rapper for this group, he's been killing it on every single song, but this track specifically, the flow is just nutty, man. The flow is incredible. And then the last one that I want to highlight for ones that I liked, Story 7, which is just more fun, lighthearted song. Not really lighthearted, but I'll get to why I think that in a minute. But it's kind of just a story about a girl werewolf doing werewolf shit, and the singing is good and the rapping is good, and it's a very entertaining song. But with this album, unlike the other two I've reviewed so far this week, this one is very much based in reality completely. Because the horrors on this album are the horrors of real life, of racism and prejudice and things that minority groups have to deal with in real life. The main theme here being violence. And it's kind of interesting how they're using horror movies, which generally aren't that serious, let's be real, to add to the atmosphere and the vibe, but they're also making really serious commentary at the same time, and I think it's just really well done in balancing those two to where it doesn't sound goofy. Because if you just pitch this idea to me being let's make a track about violence and like add some like scary movie themes to it. Like, let's make this like Halloween. It's like I would be like, why? But they balance it out really good. Like, it really works. But in terms of the stuff that I didn't like on this thing, there really wasn't much, but there are some harsh noise components on this album that I just am not a big fan of, because I generally just am not a fan of noise music, especially harsh noise. No offense to anybody who listens to that, it's just not for me. The song Attunement probably is the worst offender of that, just for me personally, because it has a lot of harsh noise influence on it, like a lot. While I do think it's a good track, I would say it's probably my least favorite. And another track that I wouldn't say I like enjoy, but I think is really interesting and a really something I've never seen on an album, as the closing track Piano Burning, which is literally just an 18-minute long track of a piano burning. Like, they recorded a piano burning and then they put it on the album. Apparently this is like a 1960s art piece someone made of just a piano burning. So yeah, they put it on the album as the closer. I'm not exactly sure why. I tried to do some research as to like the context of this, but I came up with nothing so far, but I didn't really do that much research. But yeah, if you know why, put in the comments what's the significance of this. I think it's a cool idea. I've never seen anything done like that before. But anyways, though, this album is really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd probably listen to it again. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. And in terms of the scary score, this was kind of difficult because, like I said, this is very based in reality. This is like about real life. And you know what? Real life is scary as fuck, so I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 on the scary score, because realistically, the stuff that they talk about is fucking terrifying on this album. It's happening in real life, and it's just sad and scary. Yeah, sorry to end it on a kind of negative note there, but that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Like I said, check out the past 2 videos I've done for this little special. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one. Goodbye.